जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरवनचारी यमुना तीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरवनचारी यमुना तीरवनचारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Kunja Bihari Gopichana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopishana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtotra Satya Shri Srimad Shri Abhay Jaranarabinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Chayamadhirayet Nasta Prayeshva Patreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. These two verses are from one of the first chapters of the Srimad Bhagavatam, where which is invoking the blessings of the author of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is Srila Vyasadeva, then the super most human being, Naranarayan Rishi, which is an incarnation of Lord Vishnu, and Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning. Does anybody know the number of these verses? No? But yeah, so request the blessings of all the authorities of the Srimad Bhagavatam, so that we can we have the privilege to read this book, which is the cream, the essence of the Vedic scriptures. So today we will read text 16 of the 26th chapter of the 4th canto. Kvavartate salalana machantam vyasanarnave Yamam utarate prakyam Dipayanti pade pade Kvavartate salalana Machantam vyasanarnave Vamam utarate prakyam Dipayanti pade pade Kvavartate salalana Machantam vyasanarnave Yamam utarate prakyam Dipayanti pade pade Kavartate salalana Majantam yasanarnave Mamudarate pragyam Dipayanti pade pade Kavartate salalana Majantam yasanarnave Yamam utarate pragyam Dipayanti pade pade Kavartate salalana Majantam yasanarnave Yamam udarate pragyam Dipayanti pade pade Kvavartate salalana Majantam yasanarnave Yamam udarate pragyam Dipayanti pade pade Word-to-word translation. Kva, where. Vartate is now staying. Sa, she. Lalana, woman. Machantam, while drowning. Vyasana arnave, in the ocean of danger. Ya, who? Mam, me. Udharate, delivers. Pragyam, good intelligence. Dipayanti, enlightening. Pade pade, in every step. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Kindly let me know the whereabouts of that beautiful woman who always saves me when I'm drowning in the ocean of danger. By giving me good intelligence at every step, she always saves me. I think we can repeat this verse. Actually, when I was reading this, I was thinking sometimes when you take these particular verses out of context, it can be it can be seen in a different way. Like this could easily be a prayer to Srimati Radharani. Let me know the whereabouts of this beautiful woman who saves me when I'm drowning in the ocean of danger. But this is, of course, King Puranjana speaking about his wife. So we'll repeat the translation. Kindly let me know the whereabouts of that beautiful woman who always saves me when I'm drowning in the ocean of danger. By giving me good intelligence at every step, she always saves me. Purport: there is no difference between a good wife and good intelligence. One who possesses good intelligence can deliberate properly and save himself from many dangerous conditions. In material existence, there is danger at every step. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, Padam Padam Yat Vipadam Natesham. This material world is not actually a place of residence for an intelligent person or a devotee, because here there is danger at every step. Vaikuntha is the real home for the devotee, for there is no anxiety and no danger. Good intelligence means becoming Krishna conscious. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita it is said, Krishna ye bhaje se pada chatura. Unless one is Krishna conscious, he cannot be called an intelligent person. Herein we see that King Puranjana was searching after his good wife, who always helped him out in the dangerous situations that always occur in material existence. As already explained, a real wife is Dharma Patni, that is, when a woman accepted in marriage by ritualistic ceremony is called Dharma Patni, which signifies that she is accepted in terms of religious principles. Children born of Dharma Patni, or a woman married according to religious principles, inherit the property of the father, but children born of a woman who is not properly married do not inherit the father's property. The word Dharma Patni also refers to a chaste wife. A chaste wife is one who never had any connection with men before her marriage. Once a woman is given the freedom to mingle with all kinds of men in her youth, it is very difficult for her to keep chaste. She generally cannot remain chaste. When butter is brought into the proximity of fire, it melts. The woman is like fire, and man is like butter. But if one gets a chaste wife accepted through religious marriage ritual, she can be of great help when one is threatened by the many dangerous situations of life. Actually, such a wife can become the source of all good intelligence. With such good wife, the family's engagement in the devotional service of the Lord actually makes a home, a grihastha ashram, or household dedicated to spiritual cultivation. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitan Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swavadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Vatakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Zagrachatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Barijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Kindly let me know the whereabouts of that beautiful woman who always serves me when I am drowning in the ocean of danger, who always saves me when I'm drowning in the ocean of danger. By giving me good intelligence at every step, she always saves me. In this section of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the story, we're discussing the story of King Puranjana and the analogy. There's a lot of analogies given in this story, and here the analogy is given that the wife, a good wife, is compared to good intelligence. And because, as Prabhupada explains here, the wife is the protector of the religious principles in a family. Therefore, a wife is called Dharma Patni, or the protector of religion. Dharma means religious principles, and Patni means the protector. Pati is the female, the male version, and then is Patni. Like we have the Naga Patnis, they're the wives of Kalya. And that story, which I recently read in the 10th canto, it's one of the first chapters after up to the chapter where Srila Prabhupada translated and commented himself in the Bhagavatam. So a little bit later is this chapter of Krishna subduing Kalya. And it's explained that the Kalya had a lot of demonic qualities, and he was performing a lot of sinful activities. And Kalya was a snake with a lot of heads, and he was very poisonous, so much poisonous that when he was living in the Yamuna, the surrounding area, everything in the water died except the snakes, and everything in the surrounding area, a few kilometers, was just completely dead. The plants and animals, and it's written in the Krishna book that even the birds that were flying above this area, they just fell down dead. So, and that poison, of course, is just a representation of the poisonous consciousness of the snake. It's written in the scriptures that the snakes are the manifestation of envy. When somebody is envious, then he's just spitting poison everywhere. Just criticism and hate speech, and that's not very conducive to Krishna consciousness. So, but Kalya had his wives were actually Vaishnavis. They were devotees of Krishna. And being religious, very religious wives, they followed their husband, but they were thinking in their mind that our husband is so degraded that if he was killed by Vishnu, that would be a good thing. And we know that from all the other stories, that the demons that are killed by Krishna, they attain liberation, different kinds of liberation. It's said that Putana, she got a position in Krishna's pastimes in the spiritual world as a nurse, although she actually wanted to poison Krishna when he was a baby. And then some of the demons, they merge into Krishna's body, they get impersonal liberation, which is it's a temporary type of liberation. And then there are some demons get Sarupya Mukti, which is they get a body like that of Krishna. They look very similar. Four-armed, not Krishna, Vishnu. Four-armed body usually. But in this case, Krishna didn't actually kill Kalya. And that was because when Krishna started to trample on the heads of Kalya, dance on the heads of Kalya, then Kalya became repentant and he started to realize that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. And he submitted to Krishna's desire and left the Vrindavan area. And the background of this story is that, as I said, his wives were Vaishnavis, and they were thinking that our husband is so fallen, let him be killed by Krishna. But when they saw that he became repentant, they saw in his facial expression that he actually wanted to offer prayers to Krishna. So they became compassionate and they came before Krishna and offered their prayers and requested Krishna to spare the life of their husband, having seen that he had become receptive to Krishna consciousness. So that is an example of how, and then Krishna he fulfilled the desire of the Nagapatnis, and he did not kill Kalya, but gave him instructions to leave. And this is an example how the wife or the wives in this case have saved the life of their husband, as it is said here, when I'm drowning in the ocean of danger, always saves me. Of course, this topic is very elaborately being debated in today's world, and I'm not really qualified to talk about this. What is the role of a woman? And but from also I don't have this experience of Grihastha ashram in this present life, but from observing other devotees who are able to follow a lifestyle which is recommended for the Grihastha ashram, I can see that it works. But that's all I can say in this regard. And interesting thing is that in this same chapter, here are actually the glories of, and these last few verses, the glories of mothers, glories of wife are explained. But then there's also other verses which may come across as anti-feminist sometimes. And we have to understand all of these verses in context, that actually the purpose is not to create discrimination between the genders, between different nationalities and races, although sometimes there is discussion about these things. But the purpose is always to achieve two things. That's the purpose of the Srimad Bhagavatam. One, to diminish our identification with this world, diminish our material attachment and desires. And second thing is to increase our attachment to Krishna, to increase our Krishna consciousness. And if we understand these two principles, then we may be able to understand, extract the message of everything that is being said, without being feeling insulted in any way or discriminated. But in this age of Kali, these roles are actually very much mixed. Everything is mixed up. We see that more and more people are want to change their gender. We know that because the consciousness is very mixed. The varnas are mixed, the different orders of life, different social orders of society are mixed, that people don't know where they fit in. Am I a scholar? Am I administrative? Do I have administrative capabilities, leadership capabilities? Do I have the capacity or the inclination to get involved in business or agriculture? Or the fourth order is actually very interesting, the Shudra class, which consists of 90%. This average, this number is given. It may vary, but generally, most of us are. We do have inclinations, but then we engage these by serving the other four orders. So it is said that on the battle of Kurukshetra, not everybody was a Kshatriya, for example, because the chariot driver, he is engaged in warfare, which is the duty of Kshatriyas, but they're just following the orders. They're just following orders, while the Kshatriyas they have to give direction. But yeah, as I said, that it's actually very difficult to for most people to figure out what what they're supposed to do in their life. and even up to the point of understanding that gender identity. But of course, all of these things are temporary, and because we're, as the spirit soul, we are not affected by these different identities. But having taken birth in this temporary condition, we have a particular body, particular abilities and skills, and we are meant to use them according to the scriptural injunctions in the service of Krishna. I think we'll go to questions now. Last time I didn't leave any time for questions. So I think we just open up here.
Семейный полу и вообще это вся наша жизнь, но она за этим что-то стоит сзади.
Семейное что?
Ну, семейное, вот это семейное полу и вот это, ну, вся наша жизнь, она что-то там сзади у нас стоит, типа прошлая жизнь.
Что связано с прошлой жизнью?
Да, у нас есть прошлая жизнь. И получается, что если, допустим, у нас, я в той жизни был женщиной, а в этой жизни мужчиной, то может быть этих качеств оставаться.
So he's saying that household life and life in general, everything is connected to our past life, and for example, in past life someone was a man, and in this life he's a woman, or the other way around.
Допустим, вот я на машину сел, поехал уже 12. Видно, что в прошлой жизни я был водителем.
For example, I sat in a car when I was 12 years old. That means that it's possible that in past life I was a driver.
Получается, что прошлая жизнь и наши наработки, качества, что мы там наработали, оно потом в эту жизнь приходит.
That means that all the qualities that we developed in our past life, we have them in the next life.
И бывает там такой воин, что его не сломать, а он уже воином уже 5 жизней.
Like there is a kshatriya who no one can defeat him, and he was for the past 5 lives he was a kshatriya.
Есть классный браман, который уже шагает по жизни много лет в этой связи с теми святостями.
Or there is a wonderful brahmana who has been for many lifetimes being this developing saintly qualities.
Есть даже, допустим, люди, которые тоже не были животными, и они попробовали махапрасада классного и стали человеком. По нему видно его качество. Немножко смахивают на медведя там, или на какую-то там лань.
Or someone who was an animal in past life, and then he tried prasadam, and in this life he is a human, but you can see that he has some qualities of a bear or someone.
Была одна лекция, и там один лектор рассказывал, что его друг был бизнесмен, и он, когда ему было очень тяжко, он уезжал в лес, зарывался в снег и сосал руку.
Что с бизнесменом?
А?
Бизнесменом был?
Он уезжал в лес уезжал, зарывался в снег и руку сосал, руку.
So he says there was a story about a man who sometimes he went to the forest and he cuddled into the snow, and he was starting to suck his hands like an animal.
Так что мы шагаем из жизни в жизнь, у нас есть прошлое, есть настоящее и будет будущее.
So life after life we have a past, a present, and a future.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for sharing this. And yes, so we take birth after birth, and we take with us the character and the qualities that we develop in the previous life. Yes. Now, the reason why sometimes somebody doesn't have this strong character of a Kshatriya or of a Brahmana or of a Vaishya is, Srila Prabhupada often points out, is this Garbhadan Samskara, which is a way to invite a particular soul to take birth according to the regulations of the scriptures. And because mostly in today's world children are conceived in a not very regulated way, and often by accident because of lust, and that leads to inviting random children. We know the story of father of the demons, Hiranyakashipu. What was his father? Hiranyakashipu. Kashyap. Huh? Kartama Muni? Yes, I think Kartama Muni. Kashyapa Muni. So Kashyapa Muni, although he was very fixed in his sadhana, because he engaged with his wife in inappropriate time, is the time when the Bhutas come out, the ghosts, I think around sunset. He actually got two sons who were very demonic. So, of course, one thing is to develop Krishna consciousness, and that will influence the child. But then, if then there is also the technical aspect, and if that is not, if these things are not considered at proper time and place and circumstances, then confused children take birth. And of course, that's not only the fault of the parents, and also the children, they have some karmic reason why they take birth in a family which is not really compatible with their nature. Sometimes there's also a reason why this caste system, that so many people believe in the caste system, is not only because of pride, but because in the past history, the Vedic history, often these lineages were actually very pure family lineages, that Brahmanas were taking birth in Brahmana families and Kshatriyas in Kshatriya families, with a few exceptions. We have different exceptions. But today this is practically not there anymore. It's even in India, all the parents want to send their children to the university so that they can get a good job and earn good money, which is understandable, but mostly it's just stereotyping the children, and then as soon as you actually the system is as soon as you accept employment, you're automatically you're considered a Shudra, which is not a bad thing, but it just shows that university was actually meant to be to educate the scholars, brahmanas, initially, but today it's to educate Shudras. Yes. Hare Krishna. Any other questions or comments? Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much for this lecture. I actually had 2 points. One is the Kashyapa Muni and Diti was? Yes. You mentioned that they interact in a inappropriate way or time, and I was also thinking like, yeah, that's why maybe so many disturbed people are born now, or demons, and I was wondering when it's the right time or the right like way to interact, and yes, that wasn't written in the Srimad Bhagavatam at this point, so.
Thank you for the question. I don't know exact details so much in this regard, but this particular time definitely has to be avoided around sunset, which is when the ghosts come out. And then there are other inauspicious times of the day, like the Rahu Kalam and Gulika Kalam, I believe, is another. Every day they rotate these different time windows, and then there are particular days of the month which are not suitable for any samskaras. Like full moon, I believe, new moon, Chaturdashi. These are then I don't know the reason behind these things, but Ekadashi is also the day of Vishnu, day of Krishna, which is supposed to be just dedicated to sadhana. So, and on Ashtami, the day where Krishna was born, is actually considered the most inauspicious day of the month, on the 8th day, the lunar month. But when Krishna appeared, it was the most auspicious day. So there are particular lunar days, particular muhurtas in the day, and particular probably even nakshatras, which are either beneficial or not beneficial. These things are discussed by astrologers. I'm sure Damodar Prasad Prabhu has more. Which muhurtas and nakshatras are beneficial for performing samskaras.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what kind of samskara. I don't know.
I'm sure you can Google it.
Thank you. And the second point was, it's mentioned the intelligence, right, in the verse. And Actually, the verse also says that we have to use our intelligence properly, so it can save us. And so often I observe myself to just react out of emotion or feelings, and not using the intelligence, what is a great danger. And I wanted to ask how to get better use of the intelligence so that she can protect us.
It's a difficult question. I remember some classes a few years ago where they were discussing the difference how men and women used intelligence in a different way. And apparently it's a scientific study that is generally accepted, that there's intelligence, and then there is the emotional. How do you differentiate it? We usually act out of intelligence or out of emotional, but it's said that generally the female nature is to use both at the same time, which has its benefit and has its drawbacks also. And then the man is using either only the intelligence or only the emotions. So, which also has its benefits sometimes, and sometimes its drawbacks. And that's why the wife is considered the protector, because when the man is on the emotional platform, then wife can still use the intelligence. But your particular question, I am sorry, I don't know the answer. How to use the intelligence while we're affected by emotions or fear particular. Would anybody else like to add something down there? Gurnish.
У нас живут две собаки, белая и черная.
In us, there are two dogs. There are two dogs living in us, a white dog and a black dog.
И мы можем за собой следить, в течение дня, какую собаку мы кормим.
And we can see during the day which dog we are feeding.
Первая собака белая, она называется разум.
The first dog, the white dog, is intelligence.
И есть ум, который живет на чувствах. Это черная собака.
And then there is the mind, which is living out of emotions. That is the black dog.
И мы уже заранее знаем, какую мы кормим собаку. Или мы на машину смотрим, или мы смотрим на Кришну.
And we already know before we feed the dog which dog we will feed. If we look at the car, or we look. Куда смотрим еще? На машину и на что еще?
На материальность, на машину, допустим, или на Кришну, или какую мы собаку кормим.
So if whether we look on a car or something material, or we think about Krishna.
Мы читаем джапу утром внимательно и одеваем скафандр, вот этот духовный, защитный.
So we are chanting in the morning, and we put on this we put on like a scaphandra. Spacesuit, spiritual spacesuit of protection.
И в течение дня мы не должны его снимать, мы не должны о мантре, мы должны о Кришне помнить, тогда мы сможем, не попадать на уловки Майи.
And during the day we should not take it off and remember about Krishna. So like that we will be protected.
Тогда будет защита, если мы помним о Кришне, мы под защитой.
So if we remember Krishna, we will be protected.
Харе Кришна.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. We'll end here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Ja, das ist für mich sehr. Für mich ist es